Vice President Kashim Shettima has identified agricultural revolution as a panacea to insecurity and poverty in the country. Shettima said this while delivering the 13th convocation lecture of Al Hikma University in Ilorin, Kwara. The news agency of Nigeria NAN reports that the title of the lecture is Addressing Nigeria's Food Security Challenge Through High-Tech Approach: The Role of Nigerian Universities. He also said that Nigeria could reduce its dependence on the rest of the world when the country is able to employ all who seek employment. The vice president noted that Nigeria had no justification not to be among the 10 richest countries in the world. He emphasized the value of a realistic stock-taking of the nation's assets and liabilities. He maintained that Nigeria had enough of everything it needed to feed its huge population, grow a vibrant agricultural industry, and supply huge markets with agricultural produce from which technology would have extracted the greatest value.
I want to thank this great university for trusting me with the honor of presenting this year's convocation lecture. I intend to leave the main text of this lecture for a more detailed perusal by the audience. As you will find in the main text, the convocation lecture is a sweeping review of our history with innovations and challenges, as well as triumphs and failures, our efforts as a nation to grow through our agricultural assets as a nation. This lecture captures the essential linkages between food security and technology, as well as the place of universities in extracting the maximum benefits from the right synergy consistent with our own peculiarities. As you will appreciate, an issue of this nature is best digested by our top brains under an appropriate atmosphere, and therefore leaving the main lecture itself to be distributed, while I share with you some of the key issues which a challenge of such strategic, economic, and political significance to our future as a nation represents. This lecture captures the essential linkages between food security and technology, as well as the place of universities in extracting the maximum benefits from the right synergy consistent with our own peculiarities. As you will appreciate, an issue of this nature is best digested by our top brains under an appropriate atmosphere, and therefore leaving the main lecture itself to be distributed, while I share with you some of the key issues which a challenge of such strategic, economic, and political significance to our future as a nation represents. The first issue the lecture addresses is the value of realistic stock taking of our assets and liabilities. Owing by the amount of arable land, water resources, and the size of our humanity, Nigeria has no reason not to be among the top richest countries. When we are near the bottom is precisely why we sought to offer our services to the nation to do justice to all that God has bestowed us with. Nigeria today reminds us that it is not enough to have potential. Indeed, the potential to grow and the failure to utilize that potential is a virtual death sentence for any living thing. For nations, it breeds frustration and decay. For countries such as ours, it breeds unacceptable levels of poverty and avoidable conflicts we see today. A call to transform potential into actual asset is the motivation of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
In his welcome address, the Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Noah Yusuf, noted that food insecurity had become a big problem in Nigeria.
Food insecurity is by and large a serious problem in Nigeria. We should know. In every look at corners of Nigeria, most of our people struggle with the challenge of food security. Now to get this problem, His Excellency, the Commission lecturer of today, is here to provide solution and far-reaching suggestions on how we can get there. And we hope that at the end of this lecture, the suggestions, solutions, and measures which His Excellency will provide here would help us to a large extent in ways for this our country to get over our food insecurity.